डॉन को पकड़ना मुश्किल ही नहीं।
When we were doing the remake, at that point, neither me, I think, nor Ritesh thought about doing a sequel.
But I think just over a period of time, that character became so iconic. I think somewhere people started liking that meanness, that evilness, that vibe in Don.
I was constantly being asked by almost everyone that I met, and they would always be like, listen, so you must do a sequel, you must do a sequel. You know, you can't just leave it like that where Don's gotten away.
Some time passed by, Farhan started thinking about it.
And then there was an idea, then there were these two writers, Amit and Amrish, who I met, and with whom I developed the story and the screenplay, and that's how it really did come about. This is an original script. We're taking the couple of characters forward. As far as what happens in the film, where it starts from and where it ends, is not based on any other film anymore. Yeah, sure. Let's make short. So it's on him, and I'll just see you in suggestion walking on.
Don. We never said this backstory of Don, but I feel wherever he's come from, there is this whole desire to be very stylish and cool about doing things, even as mean as they may be.
मैं तुम लोगों को एक आखिरी मौका देना चाहता हूँ। मेरे खिलाफ जितने भी केसेस हैं, उन्हें बंद कर दो। वरना अभी तो सिर्फ एक धमाका हुआ है। अगर चाहो तो इस बिल्डिंग के कोने-कोने में और भी।
One thing that comes to mind when I think of Don is that, you know, he's so bad, you know, that he's good. You know, he's good at being bad.
तुम्हारी तलाश तो दुनिया के हर पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट को किस से बात करूंगा?
He's immensely pompous.
आज ये सुनकर मेरी माँ कितनी खुश होती है।
You know, he speaks of himself in third person कि डॉन के दुश्मन की सबसे बड़ी गलती ये है कि वो डॉन का दुश्मन है। As if he's talking about someone else.
डॉन के दुश्मन को ये बात हमेशा याद रखनी चाहिए कि डॉन कभी कुछ नहीं भूलता।
In a strange sense, he's a person who enjoys cartoons. He finds it funny to destroy somebody's life in the mean streak of humor. I have a walk for him, which is very ladylike, because that makes the person a little scary.
When you see him, you get a sense of a guy who's kind of relaxed and is living his life.
We thought that we'll not keep it one look.
Now shampooed and also maybe it's all becoming.
The long hair happened because I think when we were thinking, where is Don 5 years later? He's run away from the police. Maybe he's incognito, even in jail or wherever he is. He'll kind of do something to his hair for lack of having anything else to do.
He doesn't look like he's a man on a mission right now. And when he has to, he switches back into his Don one avatar. In all honesty, and of course to give due credit, the whole idea of the tattoo came from Shah Rukh himself. Initially we were toying with many things in terms of what kind of, should it be like a bird or a reptile of some kind, you know, or some kind of saying.
And then in a strange, twisted manner, he puts the D here so that you can kind of know he's Don because he's so self-obsessed.
थोड़ा बड़ा रखें उसे। ये बड़ा है, ये छोटा है?
ये छोटा है।
ये।
This is bigger than both.
In Don too, there's a new trait that maybe he has a weakness. I mean, you know, he also feels a bit of love.
Picture. तुम्हारा आना safe नहीं।
I think in Don too, Roma doesn't know whether she hates him or she loves him. She hates him, of course, because he's Don and he betrayed her. He pretended that he was Vijay, but he was actually Don.
It's a very strange dynamic. On one hand, you have this character who's sworn revenge. I mean, obviously she can't kill him now. She's in the law enforcement agency, so she has to get him arrested.
Good evening, Mr. Malik.
Put your hands up! Get down on your knees now!
So very happy to see you.
And on the other hand, somewhere because she had opened up her heart to this man, you know, and had fallen in love with him without realizing who he truly is. It's very difficult to just kind of close that door completely.
And that's what creates this incredible love-hate kind of chemistry between Don and Roma.
For Roma, we needed to keep it sophisticated and give her an image that was still feminine, sexy, but yet a woman who was on a mission.
There of course is Vardhan as well, who was sent to jail by Don the last time. Also again, he didn't know that that was Don, so he's waiting to exact his revenge.
Welcome to hell, Don. I really do believe that Vardhan and Don are equal.
Vardhan thinks he's a step ahead of him, but Don knows that that's not possible.
When you see them in this film, you know, they come across trying to have a certain sense of camaraderie and stuff, because they both need something from one another.
मैं तुम्हें इस पिंजरे से आजाद कराने आया हूँ।
और उसके बदले में तुम्हें क्या चाहिए? He's not kind, he's not compromising. Don may change someday, but not Vardhan.
Baman was a pleasure to dress. He is part of this whole underworld, so we had to give him a very gangster look.
The script required these new characters like the new mole to be, which is Lara, Kunal's character, Sahil's character, who's a cop.
There's also a character played by Ali Khan. There's another villain being introduced, which is being played by Nawab Shah. So there's many different characters who needed to come in, of course, so that the story works the way it should.
Roll camera and action.
Aisha is actually quite complex. She's not a floozy. I would say, in a way, she's the thinking Don's Mall. She's probably one of the only people that Don can truly trust, and it takes a lot to win Don's trust.
To dress Lara was a pleasure because she's such a wonderful person, you know, sophisticated, and I think if I put Lara in anything, she would look amazing. Farhan and I had talked about making the film very sort of color coordinated, where there was not a lot of color through the characters. But Lara in the film for us, she's the color. She's like our little flower that comes up every so often.
Well, Sameer is somebody who's a sort of like a prodigy. He's, you know, been really good with computers, and he's got into lots of trouble growing up because of his abilities to hack and stuff. Sameer is completely overawed by Don.
I'm just a big fan, sir.
Sir? Sir, बहुत शरीफ सा लगता है. Call me Don.
He's a computer geek, but he's not your typical glasses-wearing geek. We decided to make him a very sort of boho, sort of chic kind of character, where he, you know, he's wearing like an old sort of biker jacket. He's got the messenger bag. You know, somebody who's cool, doesn't look like a computer geek at all.
I feel everyone who's been cast in these new parts, to me, is very kind of tailor-made for those specific characters. Was because that's where the film ended. It needed to start there to just maintain a sense of continuity. And with Germany, the action needed to move to Europe because the story demands that to happen. The second thing is it needed to be winter, it needed to be cold, although that does happen in other parts of Europe as well. But somehow when I went to Berlin in 2007, I was very taken in by the way the city looks. It's got some amazing architecture. It's got a lot of space. Pan out to the wonderful horizon of Berlin city. And there are a lot of locations in the film actually which I remember that I went to in 2007. I was like, man, this would be a great place to shoot a scene.
It's a very film-friendly city. Shah Rukh is very, very famous there.
I have a great affinity because I have a lot of people in Germany who like me. So they're all around the place and they make you feel very wanted as if you're at home. And I'm extremely, extremely loved and adored here. You know, whenever I come here, I like to meet all of them because, you know, they're very, always very excited, warm and give wonderful hugs. So I feel very much at home in Germany and in Berlin.
For Berlin, I wanted to go for a cooler look because it was winter, a lot of overcast weather. It gets dark very early in winter there as well.
5, 6 in the evening, it used to get very dark.
4 baje andhera.
So it has this kind of light, kind of has a dead kind of coolness to it.
Bloody cold and feel as if your toes are going to fall off.
Was bloody cold. Oh my God.
One of the most challenging weather-wise situations that I was in was to shoot the entry into the opera house, and we were in this beautiful, lovely backless gown, but then we were like kulfi by the time we entered the opera house.
Damn, it's cold, yeah. Yeah, लोग ऐसे जिंदा कैसे रहते हैं? The river is the part 3 and I'm part of it. Got to be shot on a beach in the summers. You can't do another winter film.
And there's a portion where I think I'm carrying Roma.
It was so cold and his hands were going like this, I remember. But
It was quite unbearable.
we did some 10 takes of that.
259, 2 take 1. Mark. Set. And action! Good. And action!
You know, the minute we would call cut, there used to be, you know, these rugs and blankets which were wrapped around him.
It was unbearably cold. I remember we used to put heaters outside the tent. Even as a matter of fact, we tried to put it while we were shooting the shots.
I genuinely feel that when it's really cold, I mean, for whatever it's worth, you can still wrap yourself up with many layers, and there's so many things available to keep you nice and warm.
Special kokum chai.
But with the heat, what do? You can't do anything.
Lankawi was really hot, and I have so much of admiration and respect for Shah Rukh because I have no idea how he got into all those hair extensions and, you know, did those incredible fighting sequences for days on end in that weather. I mean, it was unbelievable.
And it's a fight sequence with a linen suit, you know, so it's the worst combination again. There are portions in the film where I said, look, I'm just wearing the vest and doing it. So when I was in the jail, I just said, no, I'll wear the vest. I don't want to wear anything else because it was very hot.
I think I spent 2 or 3 days with him on a bridge, and it was killing. I mean, there was no shade, there was nothing, there was no tree that you could, you know, sort of go under, and it was huge wide shots that we were shooting with a helicopter, so you couldn't really even put up umbrellas and things like that. It was bad.
When I was in Malaysia, I was like, oh God, Berlin was better. And when I was in Berlin, I was like hoping for some kind of heat.
See, when people say, you know, like all actors have all the perks and, you know, it's great. I mean, these are the times, you know, that they should come and see.
Wasn't all that time.
I can't tell you that explosion.
I mean, it was complicated to set up.
We have a lot of cameras. We have 2 crash boxes. One is right in front of the police car, The other is more to the left-hand side. Then we have a POV out of the building. One camera with the actors in frame. One camera with is only a POV of this situation. And we have additional cameras over there. There's a long lens shot with the stunt guys. And a wide angle shot, a low angle shot, where the stunt guys are coming very close to the camera.
Farhan wanted an aerial shot, so there was a police chopper which was to be in frame, and then there was another camera mounted on another chopper.
It's quite a big explosion. It's very close to these buildings, so the SFX people have had to do a lot of preparation work.
It's quite risky. Tell them what you're going to do. Yeah. It's blocking trucks in this space. If the wind comes from the right direction and blows so heavy in, then I have a total flame on this building. And this could make that all the windows will go. Then I have to fire directly in the roofs.
I guess hopefully everything will go well.
The distance between the explosion and an operated camera is around about 50 meters. We have the actors covered by the cars and they are ducking down while the explosion is happening. We have grabbed the fire truck with several explosives. The car in front of us, the police car, is on a wire and it's pulled in our direction right into this crash box. And while this happened, we have two of our stunt guys over there are two air ramps. They step on the air ramp and they are flying out of frame.
I like driving very much.
I love driving.
I do like driving, I do enjoy driving, but I don't drive like this. Like I'm being chased by someone or I'm chasing someone. I drive very in accordance to the law.
Do it.
Oh God.
I learned also, I trained a day or two under the action team.
Want to go further, you know, so I want to go in the first gear so that's still accelerate in that direction.
Can I try it once?
Sure.
He maneuvers the car really well. So I remember when we were at the training, he had told me that, you should hold on to it like this.
But you just got to be brave, that's all.
I was driving manual and automatic, and manual's a pain. Hate gear. Can't get like an automatic just for me and then we can use. Because, where do you get that time to change the gear in the middle of all this craziness? I love driving. Actually, I reversed pretty well. And after I finished reversing, we realized that ऐसे मोड़ के मैं reverse करी थी. And after that, we realized कि अच्छा, you can see it on the screen and which this genius Einstein has decided to tell me after the 2 takes out. In any case, he had to be scared in the chase, so it really helped his character. The fact that I was driving so fast. You better be careful what you say.
I have no choice. I'm safe, very safe.
You have no choice, man.
Comes up.
Your first film, yeah.
First film is she's fantastic.
Shooting in Berlin, locking off roads. I think, I don't know what, we had 30-40 cars which had to be damaged.
So right now, how many cameras are you setting up?
Just getting enough cameras in enough positions so that the stunts don't have to be repeated over and over again. To give the editor something to play with afterwards. That was the main challenge.
Well, I think the rain has played a little bit of havoc with us because we sometimes haven't been able to get everything which we wanted because of the being out in the exterior. I had a mic in the engine, a mic on the exhaust pipe, and the cars which were being crashed into I had placed some mics in there also. A couple of times we had rigged the mic and the impact had just taken the mic off.
With the toys, what we did, that the choreography for all the cars, they crash into each other. When Don see Roma in the mirror, and then he goes off his position, goes into the crossing, and cars crash into other cars.
I remember Ali, Shah Rukh and myself, we were in the car. And Ali was like, Shah Rukh, you drive damn well. Like, have you ever crashed the car? you know, while doing any of these chases, and Shah Rukh is like, I've never crashed the car.
And the irony of things is the first shot I did with 2 cameras, I went and banged into a car.
The only time I've ever heard him saying, you know, I've never crashed a car, was the time immediately after that we had to crash.
And it was not such a difficult shot. Just taking the car and turning, but I don't know, I just went I think overconfident, or I just went wrong and
Footage was okay. The cameras weren't completely destroyed, you know, they weren't smashed to pieces, but they were damaged beyond using them.
it was very, very embarrassing. One of the more embarrassing times I've had on a film shoot.
You don't want anyone to get injured on your film. Of course, accidents do happen. That's why they're called accidents. You know, but it's never nice. You know, I mean, you want everyone to have, I mean, be safe and have a good time while they're making a film.
Director there didn't expect it to be that big, but we got it.
I had set some cameras up with cameras relatively close to the explosion, but I had asked safe distances, obviously that's what one does. But the explosion was a bit bigger than expected.
Okay, ready, shooting, and roll, camera. Speed, all set, and background. Right,
I didn't really realise what had happened at the time. I just carried on shooting. And then suddenly some paramedics came rushing in and a couple of guys got burned. But not very severely, they were all okay.
There should be, hopefully, you know, a level of some more safety achieved on those fronts where things like this don't happen.
They were immediately taken to set and, you know, bandaged up, and fortunately they were fine and they were back next day on set.
3, 2, 1, action!
I think it's important for a film like this that you kind of train before. So in the evenings, what we're doing the next day, we used to go and practice for 15-20 minutes at least. The speed at which this action is done is not cranked up camera. It is mostly done at real time. And you have to be very fast with it. So invariably you get, like, you know, bumps and bruises.
So when somebody just blocks your hand, no matter how carefully that is done, it hurts.
If Boman and me are fighting, we both are you know, not expert fighters, so to say. So you do hurt each other.
I don't know my own strength, as you know. I don't know my own strength. But there may be a couple of times that I may have missed and, you know, hurt Shah Rukh. But Shah Rukh being Shah Rukh and being the great professional that he is, he's always very careful.
Alright, you're good.
Action in the vault was quite tiring. And it's not like the bigness of the action, it's just that how often you have to do it. Because at best you can put 2 or 3 cameras, but many times you have to do it again because it's not clean enough.